The big September 2025 Nintendo Direct just got announced for Friday, September 12th. 60 minutes, roughly.
This is indeed the big one. Wow. Let's see what they had to say. Join us on September 12th at 6 a.m. Pacific for a Nintendo Direct. Tune in for roughly 60 minutes of information on upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch games. Wow, the big one.
60 minutes?
That's an hour.
That's a lot of minutes. That's
People have
60 of
been
them.
saying that outside of the Switch 2 Direct, this will actually be the biggest, longest
Yes.
Nintendo Direct ever.
I was just going to say the same thing. I was like looking back this morning because when I saw the roughly time, I was like, oh man, this is a monster of a Direct. I guess it makes sense because now they have to talk about Switch 2 and Switch 1 games. So it does kind of make that feel a little bit bigger and longer.
I think there's a very clear reason that we're going to get to when we start the predictions.
Yes.
But it's also nice to have 48 hours of time to mentally prepare for this.
Sleep early tonight. Sleep early.
I know.
Thursday. So you got 2 days to sleep early to wake up at 6 a.m.
Right.
Well, we have been sitting on some very interesting predictions that we don't know what each other has predicted yet, as usual. So we're going to see what we feel like is going to be in this monster of a Direct. And as always, we like to start out with the big question of what is Nintendo's goal with this Direct? They're not just putting out 60 minutes of stuff for the heck of it, you know?
No.
So what is the goal? What did you write down today?
Yes, just like Nintendo does when they say we're going to do a Nintendo Direct, what is the point of all of this? And we always try to make this clear. A lot of times the objective is very simple.
Yes.
Very straightforward. So what I wrote down
and a little boring. It
is. It's momentum. It's always about driving momentum. Drive momentum for Switch 2 hardware and software through the holidays and into Q1 2026.
Wow, yours is almost again. We did not look at each other.
This is what it is.
We did not copy each other's of each other's papers on this test of predictions. But I wrote down set up Switch 2 for success. Set up Switch 2 for a successful first holiday and maintain positive momentum.
Must drive momentum.
Q1 of 2026.
Yeah.
Yes. Obviously, it's the Switch 2's first holiday, so there is this incentive to make sure that it hits it strong and then rides the wave into the first quarter of next year. And this sort of the secondary thing that I wrote down that I don't think they're going to be doing this directly, but I do think indirectly they will try to answer some lingering questions and even some of the negativity that we've seen around the Switch 2 since its launch has not been completely like overwhelmingly positive. There's a couple of little things like, they have some lingering questions about game prices and whether or not games will be worth the higher price tag. I think they'll indirectly try to like show their work of like, this is our variable pricing, like check out these games at all different price points or whatever. And then obviously we've been kind of missing a lot of information on upcoming games and their launch dates and like sort of the roadmap overall. A lot of people have been saying like, how come we don't know what the future really looks like for the system yet? We have all these missing pieces of the puzzle. So I do think they'll like answer all those questions as well.
Yeah, in some sense, these predictions are pretty or somewhat easier to do than others because it's like we just have this long list of games where we've all just been tapping our feet waiting for the detail around a launch date. Yeah. So I think that's going to make up a big bulk is just these remaining games that had a date of either 2025 or winter, where, this is kind of their last chance, barring some sort of delay to do that. So I do think there will be a couple of surprises, but in terms of that 60-minute length, I do think this is where they're going to put the Mario anniversary news, information, announcements. Sure. So if you look at what they did in 2020 for the 35th, that was around a 15-minute direct. So it's like, okay, well, most of these big directs are about 40 minutes, tack on 15 minutes. Oh, what do you know? You're at roughly 60 minutes. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 situation.
Yes, exactly. I think based on the 60-minute runtime, I do think that the Mario anniversary, 40th anniversary stuff, we had a whole podcast where we talked about how Nintendo will probably hopefully celebrate this big anniversary for Mario. And we were both like sort of, it can go either way. They could put it into the September Direct, or maybe they'd be so focused on like game news that they want to keep this one separate since it's more like entertainment. But based on the 60-minute runtime, I do think that the Mario anniversary stuff, which will probably include some games we have that later on in our predictions, will end up in this direct. Maybe like sort of the last bit of it is Mr. Miyamoto coming out doing his Mr. Miyamoto adorable thing. So
yeah, and people have pointed out that the actual date of the anniversary is around the same time as this direct, which is a fun little wrinkle.
Yes.
Well, shall we dig into the predictions? And if it's okay with you, I think we should start with these things that are just these known quantities.
Yes.
That it's like, tell us or else.
That's what I have under the title of these things have to, all caps, be in this direct. Like that's literally what I wrote down. And I think you're right. It's a little bit like not boring, but it's kind of obvious, right? Like there are these four big games that just simply need launch dates and need some more information. And I think we have the same list: Metroid Prime 4, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, Elden Ring, and Final Fantasy VII Remake is what I have on my list. Of the four things we just need the info on.
All right. Metroid, let's start there.
Yes. Well, we don't know very much about this game at all. I think, we were saying that the only sort of existing footage or information is the two trailers that they've shown and the 15-minute demo that they have been kind of carting around since April, and we actually played that demo at Gamescom. And even like we looked back on the Treehouse Lives, and that is literally the only sort of length of gameplay footage is that 15-minute demo, which presumably is the beginning of the game, and it's pretty basic, not showing you a lot about what is unique and different about this particular installment of Metroid Prime. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the big blowout section in this direct. Give me 10 minutes of Metroid Prime 4, show me what is cool and unique about Samus's psychic powers. I want to know just like what makes this Metroid Prime like interesting and amazing. I don't feel like I know enough about this game. And of course the launch date.
Which is?
I would guess the launch date is November.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I don't know if we're going to get the big 10-minute segment. That might be something that they save for, I don't know, there could be a title direct.
More saving?
Or a big, overview trailer. But I do think that they will show us more of like, what is this game's unique hook? And I think that's probably pertaining to these psychic powers. So I do think they'll reveal like, oh, here's actually something cool that you can do versus opening a door. So I think we'll come away from this knowing like, okay, this is what makes this game new and unique in the world of Metroid Prime games. So I think people will come away from that feeling better. Although I do still think there's more to come. I think as far as the release date, I'm going to say that that's going to be December, which we have always pointed out is not an ideal date, but I think they have been dealing with some challenges of nailing this down. And I think they can say to themselves, hey, there's a difference between like a Mario Party game that you're releasing in the holidays and a Metroid Prime game. One is like people buy for gifts for somebody else or for your family. Mm-hmm. This is a game for capital G gamers. They're going to buy it whenever it comes out. The holidays are not really as big of a factor in terms of gifting and all of that. So just any time is almost as good as other because people will be excited. They're going to line up and they're going to want to play it. So I think they're going to go with December and say, now we have a really strong October, November, December lineup with Pokemon, Kirby, and Metroid, and that's going to boom to our point of having this momentum into 2026. Boom, we're going into 2026 strong.
I totally forgot about Kirby in November, so I'm changing my vote to December.
No, how can you forget?
No, sorry, Kirby. I'm so sorry.
Kirby and shambles.
No, I do think it's December now then because I forgot about Kirby.
Yikes.
And I think that we had previously said maybe this game is September. Obviously, that ship has long sailed.
No.
October, they're not going to get in the way of because of Pokemon ZA. November, still a possibility because Kirby is hitting kind of a different audience. But I do think that there are some timing development, just tie up the loose ends kind of stuff happening. That's why we haven't been hearing so much about this game. But gosh, they've waited so long at this point. It's like we've waited 7 years, and then we've not seen that much since the Switch 2 has been revealed, and it's just been this like waiting game of when are we going to properly learn what is unique and cool about this Metroid game. So they better show me something in this direct, because I'm already kind of mad about this game and I don't want to continue to be mad. So
all right,
anyhow, yeah.
Next on our list, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. So this was in the last partner showcase without a date, which I thought was curious. Do you have a prediction on the date for this game?
So I think this is shifting into Q1 of next year, because it is already a winter game, and I don't think they need this game in the holiday if they have the three punch of Pokemon, Kirby, Metroid. So they'll clear the deck and put this into Q1. This is actually a good game for Q1. Like, they typically have these kinds of more, I wouldn't call this like a niche game by any means, but it is, hitting a particular audience in the slowest time of the year. Like at Nintendo, Q1 was always sort of like a bit of you're just riding the high of the holidays so much, and then you sort of come down. You want
a big drop.
A huge drop. You want the holidays to kind of carry you through as much as possible, because you're in for the months of like February and March are just going to be slow. So I think this is probably a February game.
Yeah, the industry's gotten a lot better at understanding the value of Q1.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I agree. I have this in Q1 as well. I was thinking of maybe January, February. What's the difference?
What's the difference? Yeah.
But yeah, like let's just agree, like September is kind of off the board here.
Yeah.
So again, this is them building good momentum, and with Metroid and this back to back, we are cashing in our chips on those dedicated gamers who don't yet have a Switch 2, or who really need that, feeling of like going from game to game, month to month, that frankly we haven't had for the second half of the summer after Donkey Kong. So that'll be good for them to keep building upon all of that.
Yes, okay. Exactly.
Mostly in agreement on that. With Elden Ring and Final Fantasy VII, which are the last two games of this quartet, I didn't even bother. I don't even have a launch date for these. Right. It's just like, we're going to get it. It's going to be sometime in this kind of, now through Q1. I think these are going to be great additions to the library. My big question is, has Elden Ring shown the improvements?
Yeah.
Because we saw a version at Gamescom in Germany that was quite poor. People saw a version at PAX that sounds like maybe it's so hard to tell, and it would be great to get more confirmation. It sounds like maybe there was possibly some improvement there. So I'm still holding out hope a little bit for this version of Elden Ring to show some improvement. So that's really the big question in my mind. I'm less concerned about nailing down a release date. It'll be sometime in there.
Yeah. That was one of the other things that I was thinking that Nintendo will try to, like, again, indirectly try to answer questions for in this direct is, there has been a lot of discussion about these third-party games and sort of just how variable they are in quality on Switch 2. So I do think that it's, they do see and hear those comments, and they want to maintain like a strong relationship with all of these really important third-party partners, because you need them for like the next 7 to 8 years. But they also want to sort of answer the question and hopefully squash some of the negativity. Like, no, these games will run well. They will perform well on a Switch 2. Like they need to do some work there. So I do think that, that isn't a question or sort of, these are questions that people have that they are incentivized to try to answer. So I agree with you. I think, both these games originally had a 2025 launch timeframe, I believe. But I think if they slip, that's fine. If they slip because they're trying to increase, especially for Elden Ring, Final Fantasy VII Remake looked great. So that game did not have an issue. But if, say, Elden Ring, they say, yes, we saw some of the feedback is not very positive. We're going to take some extra time to improve the performance of this game on Switch 2, and now this game is coming out in 2026, like Q1 2026. That's completely reasonable, and I think I would much prefer that than
agreed
than just dropping a game that frankly was unplayable.
Dropping a turd.
In 2025,
yeah,
right?
Look out for that splash. Okay.
Ew. Visuals are terrible.
Yes. Okay. Let's move on to. I just have this next category of chunk of games. I just have other games getting updated information.
Yeah.
So
I have that too.
I have in here some little quick hit segment on Kirby Air Riders, reminding people of the launch date for that and possibly revealing some new characters. I'm holding a candle for my beloved Poppy Brothers. That's what I would like to see. So I think we'll get something small for Kirby Air just to remind, like, hey, we're talking about the full lineup. Don't forget this great game coming out in November.
Yeah, they'll want to do that, but they probably also will have more from Sakurai himself, as he likes to do his own, like, Sakurai Presents. You know, he likes to play well. He plays well with Nintendo on the playground, but he also like wants to do his own spotlight thing.
I mean, he is blowing up Nintendo today. Like every day on Nintendo today, they've got like maxed out Kirby Air Riders stuff.
Yeah, good for him.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, as they should, with a huge game coming from him in just a few months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think they'll do a little segment for that game to remind us.
Next game I want to talk about is. I don't know if people forgot it. Do people still remember this? There was a Tomodachi Life game that was announced in that quite curious March Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
So I think this is going to be back. I think this is a game that's going to get a Switch 2 edition because it was announced as a Nintendo Switch game. I think they want to maximize this game on both. So I think they're going to say, hey, guess what? This game's still coming on Switch, but we're going to have a Switch 2 edition. It's going to be better. It might have some more content. Look forward to that. And I think this is a game that is also coming in Q1. I have this down as a March game.
Makes sense to me. Completely makes sense to me. I had this on my list as well. I also said that it was probably getting a Switch 2 edition of some sort. And I have this one, and also Rhythm Heaven is the other one that was in the very curious, like 1 week before One Direct, we have a Switch 1 Direct, but whatever. Rhythm Heaven was also in that same weird March Direct and both these games, I remember having the most disappointing reaction ever when they were like 2026, and I was like, no.
That's a long time.
But now 2026 is right around the corner, so now we can look forward to these two games. I'm really looking forward to these two games, so I'd love to see. I mean, I don't really need to see it anymore. I'm already in, obviously, but I think both these games are probably in 2026, early Q1. I think, March for Tomodachi Life sounds good. February-ish for Rhythm Heaven. Even January for Rhythm Heaven might be a possibility.
Yeah, the sad reality, and wish it wasn't this way. Rhythm Heaven is a pretty small franchise.
It's a very small franchise.
It's got a very niche but dedicated audience.
Yeah.
So they could slot that in even if they already have a January, February, March game. They could find a spot for that. Do you think Rhythm Heaven gets a Switch 2 edition?
I don't think it really needs one.
I don't think it does either.
Yeah.
People will say, I want 120 frames per second so that I can do my proper rhythming.
Precise rhythming?
Yes, but I just kind of don't see them putting the effort, sadly, into it.
And because it's such a niche franchise, you just want to maximize the audience you can get, so clear message for them to just say, like, boom, same game, out on both consoles, play it on whichever one you have, even if you don't have a Switch 2. It's a good little game for you to get. Right.
Okay. Do you have any other games getting updates that you want to talk about? Or do you want to talk about something else?
Well, I have a few more games on my 2026, maybe just a reminder list. So Pokemon Champions was a game that they announced in the Pokemon Presents that may get a little something in this.
People have been teasing some sort of a Pokemon
like a ranger or a Pokemon something. I could see it. But Pokemon Champions was something that they teased a little bit in that Pokemon Presents. So if they're doing a Pokemon side game, it may actually just be this, and they may have just more information on it. And maybe a more clear launch time frame or something.
Okay.
Splatoon Side Order is another one on this list that.
Oh, I forgot about this one.
I know. I almost forgot. And then this morning when I was getting ready, I was like, don't forget Splatoon Side Order. So that one, they had announced that randomly in like a social media drop, I believe.
Very randomly, yes.
Yeah, I would love to see more gameplay of this, just a little bit more about like exactly what this entails, and probably a launch date would be nice.
What do you think is the launch date?
Maybe April?
So we're outside of Q1.
I think so.
Yeah, I feel like if what
Or
we
they
have
might
just
say
said
like
came true,
spring, something like that.
right? It feels like Q1 is suddenly a little bit crowded.
Yeah.
I do think beyond Q1 is realistic, which to me maybe says, they could put it here, or they could put it in some sort of start of the year Nintendo Direct and make a bigger deal out of it. So
Yeah.
I think both of those are
Either way.
plausible.
Yeah.
But shame on me, I had completely forgotten about that game. But I
I'm
am
excited
excited. I am excited for it.
I'm very excited about this
Shame
game,
on me.
actually.
Good
Shame
for you.
on you.
Yes.
And then lastly here is the other FromSoft game, which is Dusk Bloods, which we saw in the Switch 2 Direct in April. Haven't heard any peep about this game. But yeah, maybe we see it. Maybe they're holding this one for next year. But this is just one of those like big, huge third-party gets, as it were, from FromSoft doing a Switch 2 exclusive is a pretty big deal. So I wonder if they still kind of tease it a little bit, like, don't forget about this game, Switch 2 exclusive from FromSoft.
I feel like that may be deeper into the year.
Yeah,
so I'm leaning towards maybe we don't see it here.
Yeah. I have 2 games on my list for games getting Switch 2 editions.
Oh, okay.
This is just, I just want this, which is Xenoblade. Like just
which one? Xenoblade what?
The one that recently came out, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Yeah.
X. Okay, because people were talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because they were posting, Monolith was posting something. They were like, the lighting on that image screenshot looks a little bit different.
Oh, the lighting.
I don't know.
It's ridiculous. I would like Xenoblade Chronicles X to get the Switch 2 edition.
Agreed.
Because I would just like to continue playing that game, but I put it on my back burner because I was like waiting for a Switch 2 edition. And not a lot of Zelda representation right now. I don't think
we just talked about Hyrule Warriors.
Well, okay, but we want to keep Zelda top of mind, even though it's Mario's 40th birthday. So I do think the potential game that's maybe getting a Switch 2 edition is Echoes of Wisdom, which notably had some performance issues.
Well, they've already put that out. I regret to inform you
that
this already exists.
Oh,
I think you're getting too deep. You're getting a little deep into the bag here. Do you want to talk about the 40th anniversary, or do you want to talk about other new information in games?
Let's talk about new games first, because I do think this is how the pacing will go for this. Like, I think with the way that we're doing the predictions is kind of exactly how the pacing of this direct will be. So let's do new games, and then at the very end of the direct, I think the last, again, 15-ish minutes will be the Mario anniversary stuff.
So something that has been being teased for this direct is the 3 sevens.
Yes,
which
Resident Evil 7.
People have been guessing. Frankly, I don't think this is worth as much hype as it's been getting.
Yeah.
I think my guess at the 3 games are Final Fantasy VII, which we already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Some new update on this James Bond 007 game, which they just did the state of play for.
Yeah.
From the Hitman team, which looks like a cool game. It looks
like really great. Yeah.
And so but it's just like we already kind of know a fair amount about it. But I agree with you. I do think that the third thing is Resident Evil 7. There's a lot of smoke around Resident Evil on the Switch 2.
Yes.
That's a bit of an older game, still a great game. A game
very good.
Terrified you.
Like I got headaches and nosebleeds. So
yes.
There you go.
That's a really nice addition to the library. So that is my third guess as far as the 3 sevens.
We need Cap God representation on Switch too.
We gotta have it, yes.
We gotta have it. And there was smoke around Resident Evil Requiem around Gamescom, because that was the big game that Capcom...
The cloud edition of it?
Oh, God. Game Keycard, Cloud Edition. That's the most terrifying thing of all.
Oh,
Resident Evil 7 on a Game Keycard or
But you must stream it anyway.
But you must stream it, yeah. It's not fast enough to run the drives, whatever. But that was not something that was announced, obviously.
Do you have another 7 that you would like to throw into the ring?
No, those are my 7s. Yeah,
okay.
Those are my 7s. It's kind of boring,
I have a big prediction for a shadow drop, which is Hades 2.
That's what I have to.
I think that is a great candidate. September is wide open. And this is a perfect candidate to just own the month of September. This game has been in early access for
For
quite a while
year,
now.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing what they do. They've been implementing a lot of rapid adjustments, adding new content, fixing the game. I'm sure it's at a perfectly polished state now. So I think this is a great candidate for them to shout. Hades was a big deal on the original Switch. Like
such a big deal.
The super giant Nintendo connection with this series is really strong. Mm-hmm. I think if it's not in this direct, it's going to be at the Game Awards because they also seem to have a real connection with Jeff Keighley.
With Jeff, yeah.
So
they announced it at the Game Awards. This game was first announced there. So yeah.
So I think I feel like we have a good chance for Friday, but if not, just wait for the Game Awards.
I really want this game on Friday.
I would love that.
I would drop everything I'm doing, like literally everything, to play this game if it shadow drops on Friday. I would pop off. That would be amazing. And we would have to change our spoiler cast, by the way.
I've already been playing this game on the Steam Deck.
If this game
for many months,
it's on our channel. We have a video of us playing this game. If this game shadow drops on Friday, we are immediately canceling the Metroid Dread spoiler cast and changing it to this.
We didn't discuss this, but okay.
Bam! That's the prediction.
We'll discuss it off camera?
No. On camera, everything. Your life is on camera. Do you think that there is a new Fire Emblem game coming?
Yeah, so I do have that written down. You know what? I wrote it in pencil, but not pen, because as I was going through these predictions, I was like, gosh, this direct is already getting pretty hefty.
Yeah.
I don't know. And we've been hearing about this new Fire. This will definitely be the direct that gets it. So I wrote it down. I deleted it. I've done that many times.
Crossed it out.
I'm giving like the weakest prediction ever about a Fire Emblem because I don't want to be like wrong about it again. And again, my whole thing is the just enough generation. Like I think they've got just enough in this direct without it.
What I think too.
So
yeah. But I want one so badly.
That's my
big. I want a new Fire Emblem. I don't want a remake. I want a new.
Well, you never even played it, so you don't know what you're missing out on.
I don't want to play. I want to play a new one.
So are you on the side of yes or no?
I want this, but I think no. But I want this. Like I deeply want this.
Either way, I do think we're getting close. Fire Emblem at this point in the life cycle makes a lot of sense. I'm just
going to have to play Final Fantasy Tactics to satisfy my strategy game itch.
Perfect.
But I do really want Fire Emblem on Switch too.
Okay.
Badly.
Yeah. That's
Mario's anniversary.
That's all I had in this new stuff. There'll be all sorts of other third-party games. We got to Kiss the Ring of Borderlands 4. Oh, we love this. Randy Pitchford, come do some nonsense.
Roll the sizzle reel.
Come show us your magic tricks for 5 minutes. Yes.
Just Dance. Blah blah blah. Right, we'll have the thing that demonetizes us every time.
Not worth putting in this. Yes. Okay. Mario 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
Which again, we already did a big whole podcast on nothing but the 40th anniversary.
Yeah. But
so have you narrowed down your thinking on this?
I have narrowed it down. I do think that there is going to be movie stuff in here. There's going to be some sort of teaser. I'm going to narrow it down more. I think it's going to be a teaser trailer of the movie. I don't think it's just a poster. I think they're ready to show us a little bit. And then of course, confirming that title that leaked, Super Mario World. Give me a Yoshi. Give me a little tease of that. Give me a little glimpse of potentially some new characters that will be added to the cast of the Mario movie universe. Chris Meledandri might be out as well to say a few things with Mr. Miyamoto, which is always adorable. But I do think we get that treatment.
All right.
And that's probably the big anchor for the anniversary.
I wrote down movie poster or teaser trailer giving us a first look at Yoshi, which we have not seen. I think even if that's still just in a poster, that's a big deal. I think that's going to carry a lot of momentum.
Oh my
and
God,
I think they're also going to say, look forward to the first proper trailer coming soon. And maybe they'll give us last time they did that at New York Comic Con. Maybe they'll give us a date, maybe not. Either way, I think they're going to tease. Get ready. The first full trailer is coming soon. And I just got excited just saying that.
I know they're probably this is probably the kickoff to the big marketing push for the movie. So this is the beginning of what we'll start to see. All the different trailers.
And then it's going to be pretty hot and heavy from now till April when this thing comes out.
I mean, it's only a few more months, really.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
It's going to be so great. Do you think that they'll trot out Mr. Tezuka because he created Yoshi?
Oh, maybe. That'd be
does
cute.
He get
I'd love that.
I'd
love that.
friend moment, bestie friend moment, link arms with Mr. Miyamoto, and we can all do a little cute thing. I think that would be adorable. I think they should totally do that, and that would just be like a feel-good moment because those two are just so amazing. Their relationship, the friendship is so amazing, and of course, Mr. Tezuka being the creator of Yoshi, it would be really cool for him to get a little cameo in the direct. Now you've really sold me on this idea of a Switch 2 edition of Mario Wonder. So I think that's what it is.
I was going back and forth between that or something around 3D All-Stars.
I don't think it's 3D All-Stars.
And I also landed on the Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's coming sometime ahead of Black Friday.
Yeah.
I think in the scenario that Hades 2 is not shadow dropped, they could shadow drop this and
they could shadow drop this, yeah.
Get the digital version today, the physical version will be in stores like in two weeks or something like that. They could
Anniversary month for Mario, so that would be a fun shadow drop for them to do too.
And I think that would be awesome. I think that makes a lot of sense for them to take this evergreen game and now make it evergreen on a new system where people will just be perpetually buying and buying. Yeah. I would love to go back to that game and play some new content, kind of like they did with Kirby, maybe a little bit more content than they put for Kirby. That would be nice. But that's kind of where I'm landing as far as the big game content for the anniversary.
I think so too. And another great reason to have Mr. Tezuka be the one to maybe talk a little bit about that, and then the Yoshi stuff. That's a good connection there as well. And I think I can see it in my head now, like the way that it kind of looks in that direct.
Right.
And then lastly, I think we're going to get some amiibo. 40th anniversary amiibo. I don't know what it's going to look like. Maybe it's a Yoshi. I liked someone mocked this up. We were like looking at someone on Twitter like mocked it up. It was just like different Mario with different like iterations, power-ups.
It's kind of like they did with the Zelda amiibo, where like every big game kind of got a representative amiibo.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Did Mario Wonder got the Elephant Mario amiibo, right? No. It didn't get Elephant Mario amiibos?
Oh no!
I've forgotten.
This is just like Zelda Echoes of Wisdom didn't get an update on Switch 2. My gosh, no. So I mean, that's really like I think those are the big things for the anniversary, and then I think it's just like a laundry list of like partnerships and tie-ins with other companies, and some of that stuff will be really cool, but I don't really want to hazard any specific guesses because I think there's going to be a lot.
Yeah, I think there's just going to be a lot of like, there might be a few sections where you kind of glaze over because it's just like trailer after trailer after trailer with third-party games and sizzle reels and all those things where, we were talking about this with some of these like showcases. Nintendo Direct does a better job at pacing, but sometimes you like go to a showcase and you're like, I literally have seen like 50 trailers at this point. I have no idea what I just saw. I can't remember a single one. So I hope they don't get too deep in a section where we just see like a million trailers, just one after the other. And you kind of like, I can't remember anything. So that's something that they need to work on their end to make sure the pacing's good. But it's a long direct. Settle on in for some things. I think this is pretty solid. Like I feel like you were saying, it was not hard to do these predictions this time around. It was not like I struggled to understand what it is they might be showing us. Like it seemed pretty obvious.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't go overboard with some of these predictions because again, I think like there's just a big chunk of time that must be dedicated to these things. Yeah. And then from there, it's like the time's going to go fast, especially if you consider what they're going to need to do for the anniversary, assuming that's there.
Exactly. Well, I'm very excited. Yeah. I'm so excited. I feel like we haven't gotten like a big chonky direct since April. So it's been like 5 months since we've seen like just like a truly news-filled, info-dense info that we need kind of direct. So I want to know these things. I have these questions that I think that they're going to be answering in the next in the 60 minutes. On Friday, so I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Friday's going to be a big day. We'll have our reaction up after the direct happens, and then later in the day, we're holding on our podcast this week, so we're going to be talking more about everything in that episode.
Yes, that's going to be a really busy, fun day, but we will see you back here for reactions in the morning, bright and early, 6 a.m.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I hope not grumpy. And then later in the afternoon, Friday, for the Kit and Krista podcast. All right, let us know what you think is happening in this big chunky 60-minute direct. Tell us in the comments if you have predictions, hopes and dreams, summoning circles, all the things. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.